Hello and welcome back to Blue Tinted Glasses, the best Leicester fan channel on the internet. Today, it's myself and it is a nil, as you can see. Thank you to the people who are already here. It is time for the Predict the Team show. Right. Nil, mate, how are you doing, pal? It's Friday. I don't know about you. A lot of people's out of offices have just gone on. How are you feeling, mate?
Glasses on. That was my last day of the year. All holiday from now on. It's all gravy. And you know what? I've done all my Christmas shopping. I've wrapped all the presents. I've got all the cards. It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy myself. And what better way to do it than on the best Leicester City fan channel on the internet and with my good friend Locks doing the team prediction? What else would you rather do on a Friday night? Go out. Not in this economy, mate. £60 for a night out. No way.
Yeah, you're all going to see. Let's see how genius Anil really is. You know, we always see him on his analysis and on Match Day Live with the team there. Let's see how genius he is. Let's see if he manages to predict the team. Although, as people know who have been here a while, and this is for anyone new, this whole show is about you guys in the chat as well as me and Anil. We're going to put a team together for what we want to see tomorrow, what we want on Sunday, what we want to see. And then at the end, we will make some changes if we need to about what we think we will see. So we are going to start with what we want to see now. Anil, you did say last night on the preview game that I normally start with Hermansen, the easiest one. We've heard from Ruud van Nistelrooy today. Hermansen is a doubt for the game. Now, I don't know about you, mate. I think we should proceed on the basis he's not going to be there. That's what I thought we should go with. I don't know about you, mate, but
I think so too. I think that makes sense.
Yep. Okay. So I still think this is really bloody easy, right? So people in the chat, start letting us know now. Obviously, if it was tight, we will do a poll. I don't think this one will be tight. Anil, for me, it's Jakob. But what are you thinking for this one?
I think it's got to be Danny Ward. No, wash my mouth out. Wash my mouth out. I would go Jakob as well because I think it's the future. I think a lot of people would say, oh, but it'll be his Premier League debut. He can't handle the pressure. He's coming back from injury. But he strikes me as quite a confident guy. He's played in some big matches before. I think he can kick it out. And I think he can play with his feet. And I do think that's important. If not Jakob, I'll be interested if anyone's going for Iverson. I could see him maybe be giving it. I think that is the one person that I want to avoid. And Krishna, you're off my Christmas cards list of that one, my friend. No, joking. I would go Jakob as well, though. I'm all for it. Bring him on.
Yeah, I'm in agreement, mate. I'm in agreement here. Does this doubt mean Mads can only be out for a week or two? I would say so, Anil. I don't know about you, mate. It sounds like Mads should be back. Well, Boxing Day is quite soon. Maybe they even give him a break from that. Maybe he returns for Man City, but it's not a long-term injury, is it?
No, but I think the thing that worries me is if it's a niggly one and it sort of keeps flaring up over the course of the season. Like Steven Gerrard used to get that quite a bit for Liverpool. So let's hope it's not. And because that's the thing, I think in an ideal world, if you're much more comfortable, you'd be like, screw it, just give the guy like 6 weeks out of the team to be fully fit. But we can't afford that. I will say one thing though. I could see him playing, and as weird as this sounds, I could see us playing in a way where he doesn't take the long goal kicks. He might play it short. Because you see that sometimes when the keeper's carrying an injury, that a defender will come next to them and they'll take the goal kicks for them. Now, in some ways, that could be good because that could stop us kicking out so much. But I don't know. But I could see that is what I'm saying because that's what I think the issue is. I think it's because when he's going for them long arcing diags, that's putting the most strain on you when you're doing it. So I don't know.
Well, as you know, Anil, as people in the chat will know, I do like to go for the easy options first. And I think next on the team sheet is probably Mr. Vardy. I don't know about you, mate. Are you in agreement with that?
Easy. Netflix documentary coming up.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Next season or next year, the documentary will be out. That is going to be absolutely quality. Ray just said, I saw a video from Leicester of the lads visiting the hospital. I swear I was worried that Ward was going to drop a baby.
He's a bit of a chunkster, is Ward, so it's not impossible that he would do that.
That's ironic, actually, because I think he was dropped as a bit. No, I'm joking.
Oh, savage.
Yeah. Low blow, low blow. Yeah, I think Jamie Vardy has to start. Look, mate, I will say though, Neil, Tuesday, I don't think he will. I think we will be seeing Patson Daka. Is very, very, very. The games are very close to each other.
Yeah, thick and fast now.
And Vardy will be drinking his Skittle vodka, I'm sure, on Christmas Day. So he might need a little break on Boxing Day. So, but for this one, yeah, I do think we have to kind of go as strong as possible against Wolves to just guarantee, try and guarantee 3 points from it, because it's the most winnable game out of the next, 4? I think probably 4 or 5, maybe 6. So, next up, Neil, let me hand over to you, mate. Who do you think is the obvious one? I personally think it's someone in midfield, but I'll go for you, mate. Go on.
Well, I know that he's fit and training again, so I think the next obvious one, judging by Ruud van Nistelrooy's language, is Harry Winks.
Yeah, tell me why, mate. Why is he nailed on? Do you think?
Because after the last game that we played, having a central midfielder that's capable of playing a 3 or 5 yard pass and it reaching its destination would be much appreciated. So I think Winks will come in. To be honest with you, there's a strong argument for someone who Akib's just put in there as well. But I would go, I think Winks is sort of unofficially outside the Vardy, almost the captain of the team at the moment. So I think that's why he's sort of like expected to be the mainstay.
Yeah, well, just while we're there in midfield, let's talk about that, because the first name that comes to my mind is Boubacar Soumaré. Because he, to be fair to Cooper, I think was the start of it. You know, he got a tune out of Soumaré. It's just facts. Let's give credit where it's due. Absolutely. And he has continued it so far. Obviously, he missed the last game because of suspension. But does a Winks and Soumaré midfield give enough defensive, balance? Or do you think for this one against Wolves, quite a weak side in recent times, maybe it's okay to go with that midfield pairing?
I think you're right to call out, is there enough defensive protection? Who have Wolves got midfield? They're probably going to play Mario Lemina, maybe João Gomez is back. I mean, those two do carry a bit of a bite. I think it depends on what Ruud's setup is that he wants to do. So the thing that I like about the Winks and Soumaré combination is that you've got really good ball playing ability. Both of them are equally good at receiving the ball under pressure, turning, taking it forwards. So, I think I like it. I think if we're trying to play we want to take the game to Wolves and try and win it. I think it's a good pick. I think if you were going to maybe against a stronger opponent, maybe you'd have some reservations. But the thing is, I'm not really buying that Skip is all that. He didn't really make many challenges on the weekend either. So I think I would have, I think Soumaré Winks is infinitely better than any other thing. Skip has yet to really have a strong game. Whereas, although both Winks and Soumaré, I think, have had off games, they've also had real on games. And we need players that are on.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, mate. I think even if Skip, let's just say, gave you a bit more defensive stability, I think the quality that Soumaré's shown in recent games is just a must-have. And Winks will bring that a little bit of technical ability, I suppose, on the ball and ball playing and all of that stuff. So I think he will be vital. And Ruud must be excited to actually have him, because this will be the first game that Ruud van Nistelrooy is actually able to field Harry Winks, because he's obviously
exactly, and we'll see if it's the way that he wants to play. But I think I showed you before, like the way he used some of his players at PSV, like Joey Veerman. I could see him getting a lot out of Winks, to be honest, if you see how it goes. I think as well, to throw you some credit with Soumaré, I think the other thing is not only Soumaré started to play well, but the ceiling on Soumaré is very high. Like, if anything, what we've seen over the last few weeks could be the worst that he gets. Do you know what I mean? He could just go onwards and onwards and onwards. I don't really see that in Skip. I'm not really sure what his ceiling is, but it doesn't strike me as being particularly high. Whereas Soumaré, when he's at his absolute best, you're thinking, oh my God, is this the Yaya Toure regen? And Yaya Toure was one of the best, central midfielder box-to-box players in his time in the Premier League. I'd love to see someone that good in our team.
Yeah, mate, I completely agree with you. And that is probably it for the easy positions. no, maybe not. I mean, let's go, instead of going to a position, let's go to a player. For me, Anil,
Yeah.
Bilal El Khannouss will start, definitely,
Yeah,
undeniably.
I agree. He looks
Where
like he's
does
key
he
to what
go?
Wood's doing.
On the left?
I know
or
where
the
I
10?
would put him. Maybe this. Do you know what? How about I start a vote if that's okay?
Yeah.
Where should Bilal El Khannouss play? Because I'm going
I
to
think
say
we
it.
agree.
Okay, I think he should be on the left-hand side.
Yep, agree. Totally. Yeah, totally agree. I'll tell you who's not going to like that. Mr. Manny in the chat, because you know who he wants out left. But for me, he has to be off the left because the link-up play with the player we're likely to put in next at left back, I mean, is just absolutely leaps and bounds above what it has been with other partnerships, with other combinations. So, yeah, and I think that does open up then maybe a potential. We'll talk about it in a bit, but Buonanotte maybe to go in the 10. Who knows what we're gonna decide for that? But Mavididi, I think, should go off the left. El Khannouss should go off the left. But there are some people saying the 10. Kunal says the middle. 10 ain't it? Akif says, I believe.
Because look, let me pitch you the argument. Let me present my evidence as to why I think that's a good position for him. Because the way that he plays is that Christensen will come up and he will drift into the 10 position anyway. And they actually pass it with one another. So the game that they played together against West Ham, and even he changed a little bit for Brighton, but against West Ham, they both got assists. They both made key passes. It was the first, he made Christensen play a lot better. Like the thing is as well, is you got to think it's a team. It's not just about individuals. Sometimes it's like sort of like, look what happened with Paris Saint-Germain. They had Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe. It's like, how can you lose with those three in your team? Well, it turns out you've got three people that are just standing there, not doing any work. You're not going to win any games. It's how you work as a team. So look, when we saw that, not only did Bilal El Khannouss have his best game, but I think Christensen had his best game. So that's two players you're having their best games, and we look so much better for it. So for me, that's why it's a very strong argument to have him on that side. And also, if he's not in the 10 position, then it gives you another opportunity to put someone else in the 10 position, which we'll come to in a moment, which could arguably make the team even stronger still. So that's why I'm a fan of it. But I can tell you that right now, in the middle is winning it with 59%. So,
see that, you know what? No offense to you in the chat, guys, but that disappoints me a little bit. But me and Neil will have an opportunity to correct it later on with the. We'll give it 30 seconds or so. Let's while we get people's comments up. So 30 more seconds. There's over 55 people watching. How many votes are there, Anil?
Let's have a look. Oh, I can't tell.
It should say somewhere.
20 votes.
20 votes and over 55, nearly 60 people now. That's not good enough, guys. Get voting in the poll. We want at least 20 more votes in the next 1 minute.
Please smash the like button whilst you're at it.
Yeah,
Totally.
Hit like, hit subscribe as well. And still under 3% of people have the notification bell turned on, by the way, now. So
scandalous.
Get hitting that notification bell.
I'm welcoming KCK into the blue tinted family. He's saying Football Manager 2024 has Bilal's best role as a wide playmaker. Actual facts.
There you go. Let's not be too harsh on chat, Akif. Utterly disappointed me here. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. Last 20 seconds or so of the poll. Get your votes in now. Bilal on the left or in the 10. Mavididi can drive up the pitch pretty quickly too, so maybe in the middle. We'll see about that. We'll come on to that shortly. Let me see this other comment I had here. Krishna said, I forgot Facundo was alive. The relationship with VK is unbelievable. He's talking about Bilal El Khannouss. Right, Anil, hit end poll, and what are the results?
65% said in the middle.
Wow. Okay, well, we'll go with it.
It actually got worse the more that we tried to sell it.
Yeah, crazy.
Chat just wasn't having it.
Well, we're going with that for now, mate. Now, I think with the chat deciding on that, I think I know who the left and right wingers are going to be here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
let's go on the right, because I think this is an easy one. It's going to be Facundo Buonanotte, right?
Yeah.
With this current setup.
Yeah, I don't see too many people in chat on the Mavididi, so we're near McAteer hype train.
No. Look, I think it's quite clear that Rude, for whatever reason, is quite a fan of McAteer because he has had the opportunity, Anil, to play a slightly different setup with maybe Buonanotte off the right, El Khannouss in the middle, Mavididi off the left. But he has gone, on the whole with El Khannouss in the middle and McAteer on the right, or vice versa. So let's see though. People, let us know if you don't want Facundo there, because if you don't want Facundo there, I don't know where you're going to put him. So you might want him on the bench instead. No. That front four is an absolute joke. Akif says, "All right, calm down." We'll stick for Facundo right wing and Steffi left wing. Then Easy Gaming says with Facundo. I mean, Anil, let's just cut to the chase, mate. With this setup, it's going to be Mavididi off the left.
Yeah,
go with
that's what chat wants.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and Anil feel aggrieved, so we are going to do what changes we would make as well at the.
I just want to throw this out to chat, even though they'll probably absolutely cast me down. But in the Newcastle match, Rude put Mavididi on the right-hand side at one point. Mm-hmm. So just throwing it out there, you could have that same 3 people in the 7, 11, and 10 position. You could just change it around. And the thing is that if we did that, right, then you could have Christensen and El Khannouss combining well. Now, I suppose you would say, okay, Mavididi can't cut in on his left foot, but you don't have to cut in on your left foot. You can still, you are allowed to shoot the team on the right with your right foot. You are allowed to cross the ball with your right foot. There are different ways of playing. Just throwing it out there,
Yeah, I mean, let's answer this question. Anil, does Steffi deserve to start? I mean, it's a discussion we've been having on the channel quite a bit recently. He said, I remember as soon as Rude swapped Steffi to right wing, Gordon came into the game and started dominating. What do you make of that?
That's true. I don't think it's just his fault that happened, though. But it's true. I mean, I literally pointed that out in the analysis that is what happened. But you could say, they were still doing all right before that. I don't know. That's a tricky one. Because to be honest with you, I think pretty much the entire team was garbage against Newcastle. Maybe the one player that actually had a semi-good game was El Khannouss, to be fair. So, I don't know. So, based on that, I'm not really going to judge any player. I don't think Steffi was particularly any better or worse than anyone else on the team there. So, for me, it's a difficult one to say. Who are they going to have at right back and left back? They're going to have Matt Doherty for sure. Who else are they going to have? That's what I think we need to ask ourselves.
Nuri. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, do you know what? Then to be fair, but he's down the left-hand side. So that means who are we going to play down the right-hand side? I would argue that's another reason to maybe try Mavididi down that side. Because what I'm saying is that, well, to be fair, if they're playing at right back, Matt Doherty, Mavididi against him, not the worst shout, to be honest.
Why don't we find the middle ground here, Anil, between me, you, and the chat? And why don't we try? I know it's something that something that Manny has been advocating for a little bit, because Manny knows, for example, that El Khannouss has been linked up well with Victor Christensen, and Manny has suggested playing Mavididi off the right. Maybe this is the middle ground, Anil. We get our El Khannouss, Victor Christensen link up that we're advocating for, and then Mavididi still gets a shot like the chat want.
To be honest, I'm going to defend chat. Chat don't want that. I think we're trying to convince chat that that's what we want them to do, but they don't want that. Chat, they want Mavididi on the left, they want Buonanotte on the right, and they want Bilal as the 10. And they want us to lose with that lineup, in my opinion. But that's what they want. And we're blue tinting. I'm off the Christmas cards list for that one. You're getting Friday Night Raw and Nil. But that's what chat wants. We're here to listen to the blue tinted family.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. I hear you. Right. On to the back line, Anil. Well, we'll stick in the only left back who isn't League One level, Luke Thomas. And I'm on about Victor Christensen here, mate. Are you in agreement with this that he has to start?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I think he's been hit and miss this season. He has linked up very well, mate. For me, Anil, Christensen this season has had a few 4 out of 10s and a few 8 out of 10s. And the 8 out of 10s have all come with El Khannouss off the left.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to get a 4 out of 10 this time round if we go with this. But, I think Victor Christensen has to play over Luke Thomas no matter what. Yes, if maybe Ricardo was fit, you could then argue JJ off the left, but I think Christensen will probably be what most of the chat want. Thomas says, quick poll, is this what the chat does want? Yeah, this is what the chat, I think this is what they said, right? This is what everyone's been saying.
Yeah. They wanted Mavididi on the left-hand side, that's for sure.
Yeah, because they wanted Khannouss in the middle. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Aki said, and they'll take me with you off that list. Yeah. KCK saying, as it is, he's either good or shit. Victor Christensen. I think that's a fair comment, isn't it, Anil, really, from what I've seen, just from the eye test.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What next, Anil? What next? Because I think this one might need the most discussion.
No,
really.
right back, I think, is fairly guaranteed until the transfer window opens. I don't see there being anyone else other than this next particular gentleman. Yeah.
I think you're probably right, mate. And the question is, what happens, though, when we've got Liverpool, when we've got City so close together? Does Hamza Chowdhury then get a look in at right back?
That's an interesting one.
Do it? Can you risk it? Can you risk Justin picking up an injury? You know what I mean? You can't. We've got no right back.
I'm convinced that'll be one of the first players coming in, if not a dedicated right back, someone that can play there. To be honest with you, I could see him being used for all 3 games, but I don't think that would be the smartest thing. I mean, that's not impossible, actually, putting McAteer there. I mean, basically, someone will end up there. They won't be the best, but someone will end up there. We'll see what it is. I mean, to be fair, when you're playing Liverpool, it might just be like, let's just defend for our lives. So you might not necessarily need someone that's got a load of getting up and down.
Just put 4 centre backs on, mate.
you joke.
Do Rags's idea, what phase?
Yeah.
Yeah, what Ragsy said the other day about what phase. But yeah, no, I know what you're saying, mate. We joke, but I mean, we've seen it before in football. I mean, look at Pep. Pep does 4 centre backs.
Yeah,
I mean, it's for
exactly
a reason, but yeah. Anil, then. People in the chat, start getting them in now. Who you want to see as your centre back pairing? For me, it's gonna be Vestergaard.
Yeah.
Are we in agreement with that?
Yes.
Okay. People in the chat, let us know if you disagree. Yannick Vestergaard. I think most of you will probably agree to Yannick Vestergaard. Just whilst I wait for those comments to come in, let's have a look at this. To be honest, I think Khannouss and VK link up, and Facundo does with them both. I think off the left makes sense to me, but most will go with Bilal in the cam. KCK says Vesti and Wout. Krishna agrees. Fas and Yannick. Akif says Vestergaard and either Okoli or Fas. Klibo says Cody and Vestergaard. That's the first Cody of the night. Sports, hello to you, mate. Hope you're doing well, pal. Vestergaard, Okoli. Anil, I think we're going to need... Well, if you want to
get a poll up.
Yeah, Fas, Okoli, and let's put Cody in it anyway. Vestergaard, we know, is in there because the chat overwhelmingly is voting for Vestergaard. So who partners Vestergaard in the defence? Is it Cody, Fas, or Okoli? And I'm guessing, will Vestergaard be off the right or the left? Well, it depends on who goes in with him, doesn't it? So yeah,
he's normally on the left-hand side.
Yeah. I'm just thinking if it's Okoli, he'll be off the right, won't it? Okoli will be on the left.
That is possible, and maybe that's the way to go. But I will say that Cunha will probably be drifting towards the left-hand side. So you probably want the player to be next to Justin who can deal with him.
Yeah, we are getting a couple of Codys in here now. Jake says, I'm thinking Yannick and Okoli. Easy Gaming says, I think Okoli and Vestergaard. You can see how split this is in the comments. Whether the vote is the same, I'm not sure. Brian says Okoli. And Louise says Cody and Vestergaard.
See, because I've got to ask chat, did you not see the game against Newcastle? Connor Cody literally dropped like a 5.1 on the ratings there. He got caught several times. I got to say that before that, Cody was pretty impressive in the previous 2 games. It's just he really did have a stinker there. Now, to be fair, you could say he hasn't been playing that much. He's not the only person to have had a stinker in the Leicester team this season, but you drop someone after one stinker or you let them have a few more.
KCK says nah, man, Fas and Justin can't be allowed to be in each other's 5-meter radius.
I mean, that's fair.
It is, mate. Yeah, everybody was shite versus Newcastle again. Very fair.
Cody would be playing against his former team.
Yes, he would. Actually, you're right.
Which doesn't that mean you're guaranteed a goal? That's what always seems to happen when people who play against us.
Yeah. Fast is probably the best we have in terms of pace. Yeah, who do you think is quicker? Who would win in a race, Anil? Fast or Okoli, mate?
I think Okoli would, but maybe Fast has the better acceleration. But I think over a longer distance, Okoli's faster.
Yeah, well, if anybody from Seagrave is watching, I would love you to organise that, please, and get it on camera. Blue Tinted Glasses exclusive. Brian says Okoli is quicker. And Neil, mate, is it close or has somebody won it by a mile?
Okoli has won it.
Wow, there we go.
But actually, it was close though. 32% Cody, 32% Fast, 36% Okoli. So that's interesting.
Okay, so this is the team that has been heavily influenced by the chat, Blue Tinted Glasses chat. So take a look, take a screenshot, whatever you want to do. This is the team that has been chosen by the chat of Blue Tinted Glasses. And Nil, before we make some changes, what do you think of the team overall, mate?
It's still pretty good. Yeah, not bad at all, to be honest with you. Is it Premier League quality? That's a different story. I mean, I think what you'd be looking at if you were the opposition, you'd be thinking, those centre-halves and that goalkeeper, I think we can get at them there. Even the back five isn't the strongest, but good double pivot. Front force carries some threat with it. So I think it's a better lineup than understandably, it's a much better lineup than what we faced against Newcastle, even with this chat version. Yeah, see, I disagree with that because that would mean Vestergaard would have to pick up Cunha.
Oh, okay, you're right.
That's just why I can't see that happening. I think that would be a mistake. Because to be fair to chat, if you are saying that Okoli's the fastest player and you're having him, although I would say Cunha, it's not necessarily about his pace, it's that he's got skill. But again, Vestergaard's shown he's got the turning circle of the Titanic. It's, there's things that he's good at and there's things that he's not so good at.
Yes, yeah, I hear you, mate. I think, you mentioned is the team Premier League quality. I think it's one of these teams that would absolutely destroy the championship.
Yeah.
And just about go down or stay up, on the line, on the edge.
Yeah.
Add some players into this like Ricardo Pereira, like Abdul Fattah.
They're big misses, isn't they? They're big misses.
Yeah, for sure, mate, for sure. Just last question, a little slightly off topic, Anil, just slightly. But if indeed he was fit, would he go into this team? Surely he would.
He would, but I think it'd be very interesting as to who he would take out. He should take out Winks, in my opinion, because I think that Ndidi and Samari built up a good relationship between the pair of them. But he might take out Samari because the thing is, I think you got to remember is that I suspect right now that Harry Winks might be the highest earning player in the team because I think Vardy might have taken a pay cut for the 1 year deal. And I'm pretty sure that Winks, they said to him that if you're going to come down to the championship, they gave him the 8 shirt. I think he was signed with being like the main pivotal player. So look, it doesn't mean new manager didn't pick him, didn't sign him. He can do whatever he wants. But I think for that reason, he's supposed to be like the pivotal player, the marquee player sort of thing for Leicester, which is why I think he'd do that. Although indeed he did get given a contract in the summer, I am forgetting, but I still think it's Winks for that reason. So that's why I'm suspecting that he would play. But you know how it is over a bit of time, you might see it, even itself out. You never know. Maybe there's a way he can get all three of them playing together. It doesn't mean that indeed he has to be a 10. If anything, he could go more to and Ruud did do this at PSV, just to throw this out there. He went more for a kind of classic 4-3-3 rather than a 4-2-3-1. Like Liverpool did that under Klopp, right? They had Wijnaldum, they had Fabinho, they had James Milner in the middle three. A lot of them were just jobbers, but they allowed the rest of the team to play, their fullbacks to really push forward. So, I mean, even that could work, to be honest with you.
You could lose Mavididi maybe, and Khannouss goes out wide, and then maybe Ndidi comes inside into the middle, maybe.
The funny thing is on paper, that should suit Mavididi because when he was playing for Montpellier, he was actually playing in that kind of system. We'll have to see. Yeah, there's many different profiles for different games is what to find. Although I do think it's kind of obvious to me that Ruud still doesn't know what his best lineup is. He's still experimenting a bit, which I think is healthy because he's probably needs to get an idea for that. So who he goes for in the market.
I imagine he gets it as close to the West Ham and Brighton games as possible, with then some extra quality thrown in there. But yeah. Okay then, Anil. Well, let's make our changes, and then we will do the Rude, what we think Rude will go with. So I think no brainer. We're gonna be saying this. El Khannouss on the left. Me and you. This is now.
Yeah.
What's happening with Mavididi? Is he going to go out on the right? Is he going to go in the middle, or is he out the team completely?
I think I would try him on the right. What's my reasoning for that? Because who else would you put on the right-hand side? You could put Casey McAteer, or you could put Jordan Ayew there. Neither Casey McAteer nor Jordan Ayew gives you that opportunity to attack that fullback. We know that El Nouri is out. Who are they going to play there instead? Some people have said Nelson Semedo, but he was actually playing as the right-sided centre-back for them in their last game. So what I'm saying is it's likely going to be a player who isn't their first choice left wing-back or left-back. So that, for me, seems like something you would target, right? Now, to be fair, though, you could say, though, the other player that operates on that side is Cunha. So you need someone to do a bit of the defensive work. So that's the thing that could slightly worry me. But so actually, when we get to what Rude does, I think he'll do something different. But I'm not against... I guess we're trying to shoehorn Mavididi in somewhat, but he is a good player on his day. I mean, he scored goals. He can beat a player. I think the team... When he's on form, Mavididi is one of our better players. It's just he's not on form that often.
Yeah, and I'm predicting here, mate, that you would also put Fass in over a Coley.
Not necessarily, to be honest with you. Actually, I'll be honest with you. If it was me, I would play Okoli. I don't think Rude will, but I would. I think Okoli, he has got a mistake in him, but I think Fass also has many a mistake in him. And I think, unlike Fass, Okoli doesn't come across as arrogant. He comes across as someone who, if he has Yannick telling him what to do, will listen, do the right thing. He is going to make the occasional brain fart, but I think he's a player that could develop. Whereas Fass is a type that could lose his head right and do something stupid. But we'll see. As I've said, I think though that Rude will go Fass instead, but I would go Okoli personally.
So we're happy. Me and you. This is because I'm in agreement with you. This is the team we would go with. Me and you.
Yeah, it is. I think, to be fair, what Scott's saying here and a few other people, I think what you're saying, Scott, is what Rude will do. But yeah, I mean, so for me, actually, the big debate is who's on the right-hand side. Is it Mavididi or McAteer? But I think Wolves are a beatable team, and I think we've got to attack them. I mean, it's not the worst shout, to be honest with you. I forgot about him entirely. But again, I don't really think Bobby Reid is the sort of player that can beat a player one-on-one.
Famous last words, eh? Like,
well, good. We've said I love a bit of humble pie over Christmas. I'm happy to eat crow instead of turkey if it's for a good positive thing. That's for the thing. I mean, I get it. Like, but I just think because they've got Ryan Nouri's out, because he's out, you've got to target that side. So somehow, I don't know, that's what I would go with. But I know he's not going to do it, but that's what I would go with. Yeah. How about you, Docs? Okay.
I'm happy with what we're seeing here. The right wing position is a problem. I think. If Anil gets in on one tie, I know. I think the right wing position is really tough. Obviously, without Fatau, I think it's a position that we need to sign in January, whether it's on loan or permanently. I don't mind too much. We know we'll have Fatau next season. I think it's a position we need to improve on. If we're trying to shoehorn players into positions, that becomes a problem, in my opinion. You want naturals, right? If you want to stay up, you want naturals. It's not really a time to experiment too much. So
you do, but I will say specifically with wingers is that wingers are an interesting one because, 15 years ago, your right-sided winger would be right-footed. Like David Beckham was right-footed. Right. And it's only because in the 4-2-3-1, you want them to be able to cut in and have a shot with their left. But I mean, you can have a player who's strong foot. It gives you a different type of option. And that's why in games, even the top teams do flip their wingers around from time to time because it changes the sort of thing that the other team's got to deal with. Right. You can have variability and versatility. So there's something to be said of that. Or you could just sign a winger who can use both feet, but they're pretty hard to come by. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just saying it's not necessarily. It's funny how these days we say that like your right winger should be left-footed. That's the natural position. Yeah, maybe a bit longer, but it's the has been done.
Yeah. Let's move on, Anil, to what we think Rude will go with. So you've already said it, and I agree. I do think Wout Faes is going to be in this team. We don't really need to discuss that too much. I think, as you said, Cody has. I think it's a toss-up, mate, between Fass and Okoli, because Okoli, from what I heard, it could be bullshit. From what I heard, Okoli was going to be played in the first game, but he had a knock.
Yeah.
It was a fitness test, and then Cody played against West Ham. He was really good, so he stayed in, and Okoli obviously didn't start a game. So I think it is a toss-up between the two, but let's go with Fast, mate. Are we still saying that Rude will play Vestergaard?
Yes.
Yeah. And the two fullbacks, obviously, they will be.
Yeah. Until they get competition, I don't see them coming out.
Okay. The two sixes or eights, whatever you want to call them, Manil, I think this will be what Rude goes with as well. And Samari and Winks with what's available. Not Hamza, not Skip. Any chance of Rude picking Skip?
Say that again.
Any chance of Rude picking Skip, do you think?
Oh, God, not after that last performance.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, mate. I think we both agree that Rude will go with Khannouss off the left.
Yeah.
Facundo in the middle or off the right? In the middle?
Well, do you know what? I've just said that he will, but I'm not that confident in that because he moved the position himself. Like, to be fair, in that game against West Ham, he moved Khannouss into the middle and he put Casey McAteer on the left-hand side in the second half of that game, and it still worked. So I'm not sure. Obviously, the really interesting thing with Ruud van Nistelrooy right now is that he's not as keen on Buonanotte as Steve Cooper was, which I think some people might find unusual, but I think it's because he's off the ball work. He's like good when he's getting pressed and he gets physical in the challenges, but his positioning, he does go wandering a lot. Like, he can't help but drift around, and drifting around meaning not supporting his man. Like, we've obviously been chastising James Justin all season long, but to be fair to him, it's because in a lot of the games, where's Buonanotte? He's nowhere near. So it's not impossible that, he didn't start the last game. Remember that. So whilst we think he might do this, he could. I'll be honest with you. I think McAteer will start again with Ruud
off the right.
Yes, that's. I think that's the change that he'll make. That's what I'm expecting.
So let's put that in there.
Yeah,
Casey McAteer. Can I just say as well? You mentioned Buonanotte's positioning, mate.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why he never really seemed to perform in the games where we played Enzo ball under Cooper as well? Because that system maybe is quite heavily focused on positioning players being in the right positions and a structure, more of a structure than Cooper's team was.
Yeah, he just. But I felt sorry for him. He just didn't have the coaching. You just got to know when to make the runs and stuff like that because. Like, obviously, we're seeing Enzo this season again with Chelsea. And unsurprisingly, like, if you looked at them in pre-season, they looked awful. Then they looked a bit ropey first couple of games. And now sort of 10, 15, 20 games in, they're starting to look the business. So you just got to know, you just got to have it coached in. You're not going to pick it up first time round, right? After the 100th time, get good at it.
Well, this is a comment here, mate, from Krishna. The thing is with Facundo, he can win a game himself. I mean, is he just too good, and does he have too much quality to just not have in the team? Surely you just have to have him for what he could bring.
I agree with that, especially when you're a team who's short of quality like we are. But look, all managers have these things, and it's been proven time and time again. I mean, what happened to Ruud van Nistelrooy himself at Man United? He had Wayne Rooney, and he signed when Van Nistelrooy was playing. And he said, "Rooney's the better player. Ruud, your time to go." Ruthless, but he did it. Yeah.
And to give a little bit of fairness with what we just said about Facundo, about he has something, he could bring it, so you have to play him. The same could be said for Steffi, right? It could be said, the same could be said for him, that the quality is there. It's just whether he brings it, you know what I mean? Whether on the day, whether he shows up. He's
an interesting one though. That even though he's a different type of player, I would say the person that reminds me the most of Mavididi was Iheanacho. Hear me out. Because Iheanacho was another one that on his day, you thought, how is this guy not playing for Man City? And then on other days, you're like, how is he playing for Leicester City? He's terrible. Like, he's one of those. And the weird thing is he could be so inconsistent all the time. So I don't know about that. I've always said that if Mavididi, you're right. He's got on paper, he's got the technical and physical aspects. He should be playing for a really good team, but he just can't string it together. I don't know what it is. Feel a bit sorry for him. Rashford, sort of, but Rashford's got the higher ceiling, right? You know, he's had seasons where he's hit 20, 30 goals before. It's frustrating though, because I just wonder if you as a manager, if you could tease it out of him. Because sometimes, to be fair, you do get managers like that, don't they? That they work with a player and all of a sudden they turn their player from like half decent into a world beater. Like, admittedly, it was in the Championship, but look at what Enzo did to Keane and Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah, mate, I hear you completely. Hear you completely. Okay, well, this is the team that we've come with, Neil. This is the team we think Ruud will play on Sunday against Wolves. I have screenshotted it, so we will see on match day. I will compare both teams to what actually is picked and see how genius Anil really is. I'll catch him out. I'll expose him.
I'm been set up here, mate. I thought Locks was my mate. He's absolutely going to do me dirty. All right.
Yeah, a Luke style exposing. Yeah, no. A few comments. Get your final comments in, guys. Christian says thoughts on the KDH return. Don't think we need him personally. I will ask Anil something about that shortly. By the way, people, if you can please start putting your score predictions in the chat. And as always, I want you to do the score prediction based off the team you're looking at right now. So this is the team that starts. What is your score prediction for the Wolves game? And Anil, let's just say that this team on screen, obviously, Fatawu would be in there and Ricardo would be in there. But with this team, where would Dewsbury Hall actually fit if we brought him back? Because
for
I don't know about you, mate, really play him in the 10 and Buonanotte on the right.
Well, the funny thing is that Buonanotte is only on loan, and you could say that Keane and Dewsbury Hall would only be on loan. But of the two players, the one who's most likely to sign for Leicester permanently is Keane and Dewsbury Hall.
Is Dewsbury Hall... Is Dewsbury Hall better than Facundo Buonanotte as a 10? I mean, I don't know if he is.
Not as a 10, but as an attacking 8 right now, I would say yes. I do think that Buonanotte's got the higher ceiling, but a few things with Dewsbury Hall. One, and he's done this ever since he's been in the Leicester team, his work rate is elite. Like, if you look at his running stats, I think he was always in the top 10 for all players in the Premier League, not just Leicester players, all players. I think he used to be a middle distance runner or something like that for the county. He's really underrated on that. He puts in the shift every time. I think he's, physical, can tackle, goals and assists in the Premier League. For us, he wasn't the best. Championship was his breakout year. Could he do it again? But I just think that, he'll fight and he knows what the badge is all about. I like Buonanotte. I said if we could sign him permanently, I would do it. But like I say, I think 2 or 3 years now, that won't even be a conversation. I expect Buonanotte to really sort of fly quite high. But I think as of right now, for a relegation battle team, well, like I said, if you have them both in the squad, you can still bring them on. It's all about options. But yeah, I would go KDH right now, I would say.
Okay. Just final comment here about Mavididi. Mavididi psychological might not be okay. He's beat. Don't know why, because I've been rooting for it. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We don't want to speculate too much on those types of things, but there is clearly, I don't think he's not the strongest of mentally. He's not the strongest, compared to other players you see who are just so focused and so switched on all game long. He's not one of them players.
What you lot need to do in Leicester is you need to find Steffi a nice girlfriend. I'm not even joking here. He's actually got that look about me. Like, I don't know, he had a difficult breakup or something. Girlfriend cheated on him. It didn't quite work out. He's not quite himself. And, all you need to do is just accidentally push him into some girl that fancies him.
Whoa, careful.
Yeah, there you go. No, but I the girl fancies him.
No.
Yeah. I'm not calling up on anything for that, right? Anyway, point is if you could set up Steffi, get him a wifey, the girl next door, 10 out of 10 every week.
Look at this. Enzo Fernandez got divorced and now he's a beast. Well,
Yeah, I've
that's just
seen that
Enzo,
stat.
though.
It's absolutely crazy. Ever since he got divorced, he's actually averaged the goal contribution every 70 minutes or something ridiculous.
Well, these are things that I've mentioned a few times, but like, you know, your personal life would affect you at work. I'm sure it's the same for footballers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course it would be. Right. These are the score predictions based off the team you've got on screen now. Clibo says 1-1, which was my prediction, and my prediction stays the same. I do think 1-1. Akif says 2-1. Krishna says 2-1. Fast bullet header and Vardy goal. Richard says 4-2 win. Thomas says 3-1. Oh, God. Tommy K says Leicester 0, Wolves 2. Ugh. Ray says 3-1 to the Foxes. Scott says 2-1 win to Leicester. And Manny says 4-1 to I'm guessing to Leicester. And then, as Anil's mentioned a few times this week, Wolves are weak on set pieces. Go for it. Khannouss says 4-0 as well. Right. Richard, I'm not going to read that comment out, mate. But yes, maybe so. That is an option.
I think that'd make him feel worse, to be honest. But
yeah. It wouldn't just be his mental health affected. I think it would be his physical health as well, if that was the case. Right. Mavididi brace, Manny. I think Manny would like that. Anyway, Anil, what is coming up? I always throw this on you, mate, when it's me and you here. What's coming up, mate?
Well, I believe it's your show tomorrow. It's Good Morning Foxes, I've heard. Is it at 10 a.m.?
Well, we need to decide now. What do you think?
let's do it at 10 a.m. Let's do it at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. I'll be there. And Neil, I think, will be there. Manny, I'm calling him out. Manny, you're going to be there. Who knows? We'll find out soon. 10 a.m. tomorrow. We'll be there for Good Morning Foxes. And, of course, on Sunday, it's the big Match Day Live. Match Day Live, Leicester City versus Wolves. Remember, guys, next week is pretty unchanged content-wise. Monday, we'll still have the call-in show. Tuesday, we will have, hopefully, either an analysis or a preview. One of the two. Either an analysis of Wolves or a preview to Liverpool. And Wednesday, Christmas Day, there will be a Christmas special out on the channel. I'm going ahead here, but Thursday, of course, it will be Boxing Day, Match Day Live again. So don't go anywhere. Just because it's Christmas, we don't rest here at Blue Tinted Glasses. I hope you all have a lovely Friday evening. We'll see you at 10 a.m. tomorrow for Good Morning Foxes. And look at that. Look at that commitment. Manny is going to be there. There we go. Don't
Just
forget
before you
to
go,
like.
Yeah.
Here, go on, mate. Go on.
Would appreciate if you smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps us out with the algorithm. We are, of course, trying to grow the show. And comment. Just let us know what you thought.
100%. Okay. Remember, as I said as well, by the way, only 3% of subscribers have got the notification bell. I always get comments and messages on Twitter saying, "Oh, I can't believe I missed the live stream." If you hit the notification bell, you will not miss the live stream. You will be notified when we're live. I think it even notifies you when we're about to go live as well, potentially. So do it. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Have a good Friday night. And come on, you Foxes.